Started bodybuilding back in probably around 2010. It was a bucket list thing for me post-cancer. I always wanted to compete. I took an interest in the gym when I finished playing junior hockey back when I was 21. Always wanted to do a bodybuilding show, just never had the guts to do it. After I got diagnosed and went through the treatment and everything from that perspective, I found a way to use bodybuilding to raise money for the Testicular Cancer Association, and that was my very first bodybuilding show.
I started bodybuilding in grade 11 to get more into shape. I was a little skinny kid. I played hockey and I skateboarded, so I was very physically active, and I started working out and just slowly grew and kept doing it, kept getting better, and never knew it was going to end up saving my life.
Back in 2008, I was taking a shower the one day and I was washing myself, and I hit myself on my testicle when I was cleaning myself, and I got this crazy pain that shot right up through my midsection. It felt like it went right into my head. At that point, I wondered what it was, why it was happening, but it was kind of one of those things where I didn't really want to know. I waited 6 months before I went to see a doctor.
In 2009, actually, I was dieting for an upcoming bodybuilding show at the time. I collapsed one day. My garage, actually. My father-in-law took me to the house where I got sick. I couldn't move. The ER doctor at the time looked into my eyes and he saw the tumor through my eyes. But he sent me back for a CT scan. And after the CT scan revealed about a plum-sized mass at the base of my brain. I guess when I think back on it, I did have symptoms as far as extreme pain in my neck. Dizzy spells. I went to the doctor. He told me it was an ear infection and I should go get massage therapy. I thought because I was training hard and everything like that, that was the reasoning for my pain, but it ended up to be a brain tumor.
So I was first diagnosed with a cyst and a varicocele. My doctor put me on pain medication for about 2 months and then just left me sit for that long. So it was about 8 months before I was actually diagnosed with cancer. The biggest thing of that is the realization is I could have basically had surgery and not have to go through treatment. The funny part is cancer was easy. The chemo sucked. It was the hardest part of it. And with that, the long-term effects that I have to deal with now are all from the chemo. It's not from the cancer. So 12 to 15 years post my chemotherapy, I'm looking at my lungs starting to fill up with scar tissue, which will actually deplete the oxygen capacity I'll have. And my circulatory system is actually starting to slow down. You can see my fingernails are already starting to turn white, which means my blood's not getting to the end of my fingers, and that's just going to get worse. So within 12 to 15 years, they say I won't be able to pick up a pencil off of the table. So ignoring the symptoms and waiting that long to go ask for help, that's what really caused my long-term problems.
What had happened was that the tumor had grown over my aqueduct, which drains fluid from the brain. So I had a symptom called hydrocephalus, which is just extreme fluid buildup on the brain. That's why I collapsed, and that's why I couldn't move. After the tumor was discovered in Kitchener, they rushed me to Hamilton General, and I was operated on that evening. The operation didn't solve much. They only got 20% of the tumor. It was an extreme disappointment. The next day they installed the shunt, which is a tube that goes down through the base of my head, through my neck and into my stomach, to alleviate the pressure and the fluid buildup on my brain. A week later I stabilized, and they decided to operate on me for a third time. And they got about another 30% of the tumor. It had bled, and it had just had all the blood and all the, they couldn't tell if it was brain or if it was tumor that they were taking. So they closed me up and sent me home. A week later, I was rushed back to the hospital with the same symptoms as I had the first time. The hydrocephalus was back. I guess after my third operation, the shunt head got clogged with tumor and blood, so I had to go back to Hamilton to get my shunt revised and put back in. A week later, I started a 6-week bout of radiation therapy at the Chapinski Cancer Center in Hamilton. It was just so fast, it just happened so quickly that I couldn't, I just went along with the punches and just roll with it. And it was my family and all the love from my father, my amazing wife, my all my family, all my loved ones, they really kept me positive, and that's how I was able to pull through with positivity and family and love. I feel the most blessed man on the planet.
Back in my treatment, when I first walked into my very first treatment, I froze like a scared little child. Had a nurse have to come get me, bring me in and sit me in my chair, get me all set up. And in that time, I noticed this tiny little fragile looking girl watching me the entire time. My treatments took about 3 hours. Within about 45 minutes into my treatment, she came over and started talking to me and sat with me and just kind of talked about the book I was reading and how I was feeling, that kind of stuff. And before I knew it, my treatment was over. Ashley did that for me every time. She taught me what life was about. She kicked me in the butt when I needed a kick in the butt. She showed me, there's a lot of life to live. This is a girl who was diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer. Was told she was going to die 3 years before I met her. And she had a bucket list to do, and she actually accomplished everything she set out to do before she passed away. I made a promise to her that I would do for other people what she did for me and kind of teach me what life was about. Our mission now is making men realize not to fear finding out what's wrong. Don't ignore symptoms. We use the bodybuilding world as our platform, but we also go into high schools and talk to young men about not making the same mistakes we made and understanding what life's about. And now I can help a mass amount of people instead of just one person at a time. Cancer can't slow you down. It doesn't end your life. You can accomplish anything with a positive attitude. We started Mo Muscle back in 2008. Scott and I sat down one day and kind of talked about what can we do to really make a difference. And we both credit bodybuilding for saving our lives. And we thought, okay, we can use the bodybuilding world as a platform to get our message out. We, at that point, partnered with Movember and did a Movember pledge drive with, I believe there's about 14 bodybuilders who all competed in the London Championships. Raised about $6,000 that we're able to donate to Movember. And since then, we've been going into a number of high schools, talking to students about, being aware of what their body's telling them, not letting fear run their lives. We're able to solidify the Fusion Mo Muscle Bodybuilding Classic, and that's going to be our biggest event. So I ended up with a $13,000 debt at the end of my treatment, and that's a hard thing. You battle for your life, and then at the other side of it, you realize, now I got to battle to get out of debt. So that was the purpose of this, and this bodybuilding show is going to allow us to start actually helping them, and that's the greatest thing about this. And Fusion stepping up and being a part of that, they understand what we're doing, and they've jumped in and have made a huge difference in what we're trying to do. We came to partner with Fusion Bodybuilding for our Mo Muscle Classic, and it actually starts back probably about 8 months ago when we met Adrian for breakfast one day. Adrian actually came to us. He realized what we were doing and what it meant to be a part of this. He came to me and actually pitched us on the idea of getting involved and doing it here in Guelph in the Fusion Bodybuilding backyard. Really wanted to be a part of it, and he's just jumped in and taken control, done all the marketing, and he's doing an amazing job. And Fusion's backed us, and it's created such a strong word out there in the bodybuilding community on what Mo Muscle and Fusion are doing.
Totally helping us get our message out.
We've done quite a few events now where a lot of the stuff we're doing is geared towards Movember, talking in high schools, getting our word out. But this bodybuilding show is the biggest thing we're going to do. It's going to be a yearly thing that's basically going to generate all the funds that we need to help men in our community. The corporate community that in our area, in Guelph, Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge area, has just jumped in. They're donating prizes, they're donating money to be able to give out trips, give out big screen TVs. Fusion's offered up a year's sponsorship for the overall winner. It's an exciting time to be a part of this, and not only are you eligible to win these prizes and be able to go compete at a provincial championship, you're helping get our awareness program out there. And you're actually out there helping people not let fear run their lives. So that's the exciting part for me. The fact that people in this community, in the bodybuilding world, are going to basically become a partner with us. You enter our show, you partner with Mo Muscle and Fusion to get our awareness program out there. And that's an amazing thing. If you're thinking of competing in a bodybuilding championship this year, check out FusionMoMuscle.com. Not only do you get a chance to win great prizes and compete at a provincial championship, but you get to help create an awareness program Partner with us to help men not let fear run their lives.
Yeah, crush cancer, go more muscle.